Happy Pride. You're listening to Queer Money episode 211. There won't be many physical prides this year. Parties will be limited and small if there are any at all. So what do you do? Well, today we're sharing 9 amazing ways to have fun and celebrate Pride while you're at home in quarantine.
Amazing.
But first, we want to extend a special shout out, a thank you to Aging Gay Millennial, who gave us this review on Apple Podcasts. Quote, "I love this podcast," Aging Gay Millennial said. "The hosts are so helpful and kind, and you can tell they really care about reaching out and bettering others in the queer community. I have very few people who can capably manage their money in my life, and it's been great to listen to this podcast and come away with multiple actionable items that I can implement in my life immediately." So thank you very much for the kind review, Agent Gay Millennial. We really appreciate it. Reviews on Apple feed the Apple algorithms, which help Queer Money reach more queer people, which is super important. Plus, it makes my mom very proud.
Aww.
Now, let's pride on.
There's personal finance for the masses. This is not personal finance for the masses. This is Queer Money.
How does your bank support the LGBT community? Not at all? For Pride in June? Or 365 days a year? Capital One proudly supports the LGBT community throughout the year. Maybe it's time to support a bank that supports us. Go to debtfreeguys.com/cafe for more info.
The foundation for living fabulously, not fabulously broke, is a good credit score. A good credit score can save you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. A bad credit score can cost you tens of thousands of dollars and cause you to miss out on other great opportunities. Sign up for the free Improve or Build Your Credit Score powered by Experian Boost and watch your credit score improve by 5 to 50 points in 15 minutes. Go to debtfreeguys.com/boost. Now, on with the show.
So as John mentioned in the outset, we're right in the middle of it, right? This is the middle of Pride Month. This episode should be going live right in the middle of June. And many of us, I think, are aching for some pride.
I need a parade.
I think that there's lots of things going on in the world today that are making us wish that we could be in a group of friends, donning our gay apparel and giving hugs and holding hands and celebrating. And it's difficult. We all wish that things were very different.
Exactly. As a very wise woman once said, we all need a holiday.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about her being so wise, but anyway.
Greatest artist in the world, I'll say.
Right. So it is a difficult time, but that doesn't mean that we need to completely give up having pride in who we are and showing that pride. I think it's really important right now as communities, especially marginalized communities, are struggling. It's important for us to show our pride where we can and connect with our friends and neighbors in ways that we can that allow us to get some mental health release and also be able to maybe have a little bit of a good time when we can. So our first suggestion here is one that I think many of us have either tried or have heard about, but we think it's an important one because it does allow us to be social with a larger group of people, and that's the Zoom cocktail party, especially with your close friends. If you've already done this, do it with those friends and celebrate Pride. Pick a drink or maybe a theme. Maybe it's time for those of you who haven't tried drag, and we're looking at each other.
Why are you swerving your hips while you say that?
Because that's how drag queens do it, I think. I don't know. But maybe it's time for you to see if you can squeeze into some drag apparel or maybe try an old Pride outfit. Fortunately, we did the Marie Kondo on all of our closets before we made the big move and moved out of our condo.
Any of our Pride clothing, so
because we would not be able to fit into it if it was from a few years ago.
Yeah, so if quarantine hasn't made you gain 19 pounds, then yeah, maybe try wearing a Pride outfit that you had a couple of years ago. Ideally, the older the better. Like if you have a Pride outfit from like the 70s or 80s, that would be amazing.
And if you can still fit into it, that would be fabulous.
That would be fabulous. But as you can see, there's several directions you can take this. The idea is to have fun and enjoy it. And whether you're wearing a Pride outfit from a couple of years ago, you're wearing drag, or you decide to go in a completely another theme, dress as characters from a movie, whatever, that you can have a lot of fun with that option.
Yeah. And if you decide to do this, take a picture and tag at Queer Money Podcast. We will we want to check these pictures
see those cocktails, share your recipes. It's important to have some pride this month, especially this year.
Exactly.
Tip number 2, and you've heard us say this a lot over the last several weeks, and this recommendation never gets old because it's very important. A lot of people are hurting right now, and that is to give to our community. Give to our community, give to other marginalized communities. Whatever you can, donate. Donate to LGBT organizations. Many of them are hurting right now and they need all the help that we can get because the people that rely on those services need all the help that they can get. And especially maybe this time of year, and maybe for the next couple of years, consider the African American people in our community, including Black trans folks who need a lot of help this year. They're dealing with extra anxiety this year, and the more that we can help those in our community who are more marginalized than maybe some of us are, the better. Likewise, send to donations to LGBT businesses that need help. Tip a drag performer, tip a queer bartender or a server or anybody that's in the service industry that you would normally go to and see a couple times a month and give a couple $10, $20, $30 to. All of that money has dried up for them, and those people need a lot of help. So consider tipping somebody that you would normally tip anyway to the extent that you can. In all of these cases, only give to the extent that you can. There's no point in hurting yourself to help somebody else because that just then transfers the anxiety and the responsibility, the need to be taken care of on your shoulders. So help as far and as much as you can. And consider those more marginalized communities or those struggling more right now due to COVID-19 and Black Lives Matters.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that one of the important things here, especially when it comes to supporting businesses, get out there and search the databases of your local LGBT Chamber of Commerce for businesses that are still operating, that are a part of the LGBT community. And if there's that intersectionality of also being a business that's owned by a person of color, it's going to be very helpful right now. Our third point here is to use June as a chance to start taking some pride in your money all year round.
We have a money recommendation.
Yeah, exactly. Of course we do. This is queer money, right? So take pride in your financial situation. Now, that may be difficult because of maybe not having made great decisions in the past or just starting out, but that doesn't mean that you can't continue to move forward. So a couple of suggestions. Make sure you join the Queer Money Facebook group where lots of conversations are being had around money and the intersection of money and the LGBT community. The other thing is to sign up for our free Fabulous Life combo. You can get that at debtfreeguys.com/211. And basically what that is it's just, it's a simple package of tools that we put together that we have used over the years that help us maintain a fabulous life in many aspects of our lives, both financial, mental health, and just being able to organize our lives in a great way. So some things that are included in there are the Fabulous Life Questionnaire, which kind of kicks all these things off. Other things like the Living Fabulous Social Life Calendar, which has a micro budgeting piece to it, a money tracker piece to it, which is great, but it also helps you get your social life organized, which many of us don't have right now, but we're going to.
You have to put those
things are opening back up.
You have to put those Monopoly games on your calendar.
Exactly. Yep.
Otherwise, people don't know when to show up at the dining room table.
Yeah. Right. And then another piece to that is the Living Fabulously Daily Journal, which includes some mental health things like meditating and journaling.
Exactly. Tip number 4, do a Pride Week photo series or collage on social media with past and maybe even present photos. So we all have on our phones, we have years and years and years of worth of pictures of prides from the past. Maybe revisit some of those, put them together in a collage or in a story on Instagram or Facebook, Twitter, and share them and just flood the internet with all these pictures to show pride throughout this year. There's a cool app that I just downloaded a couple weeks ago. I really like. If you would like to make a nice collage, it has cool borders and breaks things up in an interesting way. And it's free. It's the Pick Stitch app. P as in Paul, I-C as in Charlie, Stitch as in sewing and stitching. Lilo and Stitch is another way to say that. It's a really cool app that allows you to make interesting collages. It's free. You can, of course, pay to upgrade to more features, but you don't necessarily need to. And that might be a fun way to show everybody the pride that you have this year. And if you do anything exciting, even if it's just barbecue in your backyard or taking a picture of your Zoom call that we recommended in tip 1, maybe include that in your collage as well.
Yeah, and again, tag us so that we can see them and share them. And go back into your Facebook or Instagram feeds and look at, June of last year or whenever it is that you celebrate Pride in your city, because we know some cities don't celebrate Pride in June because of weather conditions typically, but it doesn't mean that this isn't a time of year that you can also show pride and share those pictures or post those pictures of your own. This podcast is sponsored by Capital One. Capital One is redesigning the banking experience by offering simple, straightforward, and seamless ways for you to bank from almost anywhere. So banking fits into your life, not the other way around.
Hi, I'm Louise Chernin. I am with Washington State's LGBTQ and Allied Chamber of Commerce. We are about business development, looking at everything through the eye of equality, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and investing over $600,000 a year in LGBTQ students. Join us. Check out thegsba.org. We welcome everybody.
Our fifth one here, I alluded to in the beginning, don your gay apparel. Put on some pride gear. And even if it's you...
Now our gay apparel.
Right.
Oh, that was good. It carried a little bit, huh?
A little bit. So even if it's just you or maybe you and the person you're living with, whether that's your spouse or partner or a roommate, throw on that pride gear. Grab your puppies if you have them, put them in a wagon and have your own 1 to 2 person pride parade, right? Go for a walk in the park or down your street and show all your neighbors how you're having pride right now. There's a bunch of ways to do that. You can do it yourself, but there's also a ton of virtual parades that are happening now because of the situation we're all in. So take a look at various cities. We know that some are happening in Denver, Boston, Washington, D.C., but there's also, we have a list on our website of gay cities, of 25 affordable gay cities that you're forgetting about. So pick a city that maybe you might want to move to and see what their virtual pride is like. Maybe you can connect with someone in a city that you have the desire to or potentially are moving to connect with them and start your community before you even get there.
Tip number 6, not revelatory, but I think it's very important, especially this year. And I could see why a lot of people might not execute on this right now. It might not be a lot of motivation, but I think now is as important as ever. And that is to hang your pride flags outside. Put your banners up on your front porch, put your bumper stickers on your car, stickers in your windows, whatever. Show everything pride that you've got and show your pride this year. I think it's especially important. Show that even though we're all going through is challenging and we have multiple pressures on multiple fronts, that now more than ever we have pride as much as ever. And then also, of course, dress up in all the rainbow gear that you can come up with.
Yeah. I think that one of the important things with that one is maybe think about going a little different than what you would normally. If you typically use the rainbow flag, maybe look at putting out a trans flag or bi pride flag, a different flag that shows that you're supportive of that other community, because we have allies all over the world who put out the rainbow flag to show that they're an ally of the community. Be an ally to another community as well. I think that's really important right now to focus on this community and us coming together rather than separating each other. So then point number 7 is to do an LGBT-themed Netflix watch party or other streaming service, if you know of other ones where you can do a watch party or even just a party at home with the individuals you can associate with or be around. There's some ones on Amazon Prime that we kind of consider must watch: How to Survive a Plague, Pride on Amazon Prime, which is Pride is an actual show on Amazon Prime, and then of course Love, Simon, which
who doesn't love Simon? It's so cute.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's
Can't
plenty
watch
of
that
others
too
out
much.
there. Again, if you share a movie with friends, tag us. We'd love to know what you're watching.
Recommendation number 8 is to become a pen pal with an older LGBTQ person who's in a nursing home or a care facility. A lot of us are feeling isolated and alone right now, and fortunately some of us are living with our partners or spouse or bunking with friends, but there are a lot of individuals who don't have that access to friends or family for a number of reasons, some of which possibly because of their age or because of their health conditions, and they might be especially lonely right now. So maybe take it upon yourself to connect with somebody in a nursing home or a care facility who's LGBTQ and could use a little bit of extra love. And a great way to get connected with somebody like that is to reach out to your local LGBTQ center. You can email or contact SAGE, SAGE, or any other local advocacy group. They'll either be able to put you in contact with somebody or put you in contact with someone who can actually put you in contact with a person who would love to receive a letter from you celebrating Pride with them.
Yeah, and it's amazing the stories we hear about individuals who, I think there's a lot of concern right now about how many people may not understand the roots behind Pride or what individuals went through to be able to celebrate Pride in the 70s, in the 80s. It would be nice to hear those stories, and maybe that's one of the ways that you can hear that story and share it with others. Our last point here is one I think that is really important. We still have to do this on a regular basis, and that's to come out to someone who, for whatever reason, thinks that you're still straight or that you're still whatever, right? Come out to someone who doesn't know about who you are and let them know that you are a part of this community and that they can be an ally and supportive of you.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to sort of continue to build that bridge that I think a lot of us just assume that everybody knows. A lot of us assumes that everybody else should already know. And unfortunately, we're just not there yet. And to the extent that you're comfortable putting yourself out there and coming out to somebody who may not know that you're LGBTQ queer, that can help build that bridge. And we need to continue to work on building more bridges, especially now more than ever. So those are our 9 suggestions or recommendations to celebrate Pride this year when Pride might not look as normal as it has in years past. And there's multiple things that we can do. And just with a little bit of effort, we can make this year as fun and as important and as worthwhile as any other previous year or going forward. Thank you for listening to another episode of Queer Money. Here's your Queer Money takeaway from this episode. Even though you may be stuck in quarantine, you can still celebrate Pride this year. And the best way to celebrate Pride this year is to consider taking care of others, reaching out to those who need it, such as organizations, businesses, and older or sick LGBTQ people. We make the Queer Money podcast for you, so please email your money questions to questions@debtfreeguys.com or post them in the Queer Money Facebook group, and we may answer it in an upcoming episode.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. Capital One's checking and savings accounts have no fees and no minimums. And with one of the best saving rates in America, you can rest easy watching your money grow with no fees to bring you down. You can open an account in about 5 minutes, which means you are only about 5 minutes away from getting your savings to grow with one of the nation's best rates. Remember, the foundation for living fabulously, not fabulously broke, is a good credit score. A good credit score can save you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Bad credit score can cost you tens of thousands of dollars and cause you to miss out on other great opportunities. Sign up for the free Improve or Build Your Credit Score powered by Experian Boost and watch your credit score improve between 5 and 50 points in 15 minutes. Go to debtfreeguys.com/boost.